Coco Gauff stuns in glorious dress and knee-high boots as she spends time with single Ravyn Lenae in Miami. Coco Gauff is thoroughly enjoying her off-season, this time spending a day with American R&B singer Ravyn Lenae. The former world number 2 was seen wearing a stunning mini dress with knee-high boots while out with Lenae in Miami, Florida. Earlier this year, in March 2025, Gauff and Lenae attended Rodica Jones' Vanity Fair Oscar party at the Wallace Annenberg Center for the Performing Arts in Beverly Hills, California. Coco Gauff spends time with singer Ravyn Lenae in Miami. Gauff wrapped up her 2025 tennis season after competing in the WTA Finals in Riyadh. Since then she has spent quality time with her boyfriend, Jalen Sarah, in Los Angeles, traveled to New Orleans with her brothers, Cody and Cameron, where she unveiled newly renovated public courts, celebrated Thanksgiving and much more. The former world number 2 recently spent some time with singer Lenae in Miami. The singer shared a series of pictures on social media documenting her time in the city, which included a photo of her with Gauff. "Miami and me," Lenae captioned her Instagram post. "Icon doing iconic things," Gauff commented. Gauff reposted Lenae's picture on her own social media, expressing that she had missed the singer. She also shared an image of herself enjoying ice cream. During their outing, the two-time Grand Slam champion wore what appeared to be an edicted women's shredded halter stretch mini dress paired with knee-high boots. "So flow x Chi-town missed hair," Gauff captioned her Instagram story. "Me being shy with the pixel loudly crying face," she added. On the tennis side of things, Gauff finished her season with 4 titles to her name, winning the 2025 United Cup with the American team, the French Open, the Wuhan Open and a doubles title at the Canadian Open alongside McCartney Kessler. Coco Gauff to begin 2026 season at the United Cup. Looking ahead, Gauff will begin her 2026 season by representing the United States at the United Cup, scheduled to take place from January 2nd to January 11th, 2026 in Australia. The matches will be held at the RAC Arena and the Ken Rosewall Arena in Perth and Sydney respectively. Team USA will enter the tournament as the defending champions, having won the title in 2025 by defeating Poland. The team for the next year will include Gauff, Taylor Fritz, Christian Harrison, Nicole Mellicher-Martinez, Varvara Lepchenko and Mackenzie McDonald. They have been placed in Group A alongside Spain and Argentina. "I'm super excited to go back to the United Cup. I had such a good time in my first year playing with the team, and I'm looking forward to going back," Gauff said. During the group matches at the 2026 United Cup, Gauff may face Spain's Jessica Buzas Monero and Argentina's Solana Sierra in singles matches. These potential matchups will mark the former world number 2's first encounters with both players on the WTA Tour. Miami's winter sun does not cool down, it glows, it vibrates, it dances. And on this particular Saturday, it had no choice but to shine a little brighter. Because Coco Gauff, the reigning queen of American tennis, had stepped onto the Miami Design District walkway in a dress that could stop traffic and knee-high boots that could restart it. She wasn't preparing for a match. She wasn't sprinting drills or tuning her serve. She was doing something far rarer for one of the busiest athletes in the world. Living, glowing, and enjoying the moment. And by her side was none other than Ravyn Lenae, the ethereal R&B muse whose velvet voice had become the soundtrack of late-night playlists everywhere. Ravyn, newly single and embracing a chapter of self-discovery, was the perfect counterpart to Coco's victorious, sky-high confidence. One thrives in melodies, the other in movement. Both, however, understand rhythm, on a stage, on a court, and in life. A Miami day made for icons. The rumor began on social media hours before the first blurry photo appeared. Is that Coco Gauff with Ravyn Lenae in Miami? Within minutes, fan accounts were tracking outfit details. By the time the two women reached an art installation tucked between fashion houses, the internet was already pressed against imaginary glass, eagerly watching. Coco's dress flowed like molten bronze, sleek, sculptural and effortlessly stunning. It swayed with each confident step, catching sunlight like it was made from strands of morning. Her knee-high boots, polished to perfection, weren't just footwear. They were a statement. A message. A reminder that she could dominate the tennis court at 10 a.m. and dominate Miami fashion by noon. Ravyn, the queen of soft aesthetic meets cosmic soul, wore a breezy teal piece that looked dipped in Caribbean waters. Her hair floated around her shoulders, catching the breeze like a secret whispered to the ocean. Together they looked like Miami's newest power duo, part art, part energy, part magic. Laughs, cameras, and the ease of two young queens. A group of fans recognized Coco first. She flashed the kind of smile that melts even the sternest chair umpire. Ravyn waved too, warm and unbothered, the embodiment of a woman rediscovering her own rhythm. Their conversation, lively, colorful, animated, seemed to bounce between inside jokes and the kind of laughter only shared by people completely at ease with each other. Coco, always a blend of playful and grounded, gestured dramatically as she told a story. Ravyn leaned in, eyes glowing with the kind of interest that made Coco erupt into another laugh. Even from afar you could tell it wasn't celebrity chatter, it was two young women experiencing genuine joy. A break they both needed. Coco's 2025 season had already turned intense far sooner than expected. With training, sponsorship shoots, and fan expectations piling up like an endless string of backhands, she'd earned a moment of escape. She didn't need a runway or a red carpet. She needed sunlight, music, and someone who understood the weight of being exceptional at a young age. Enter Ravyn Lenae. Fresh from the emotional unraveling of a relationship that had played out too publicly for her liking, Ravyn had chosen Miami, a city that hums with rebirth, as her personal reset button. Time in the studio. Time by the water. Time with people who let her breathe. What neither woman expected was how effortlessly their energies would sync. Not romantically, despite the dozens of fan fantasies flying online, but in a way that felt like two creatives finding rare companionship in a world that asks too much of them. Art, fashion, and a little bit of mischief. Witnesses said the fun started at the Wynwood Walls. A painter recognized Ravyn's voice and played one of her tracks on a portable speaker. Instead of shying away, she gave a little twirl, laughing as Coco clapped like a proud parent at a school talent show. At another stop, Coco attempted to explain the strategy behind her last tiebreak victory using a mural as a diagram. Ravyn squinted, nodded thoughtfully, then offered an alternative interpretation involving constellations. The two dissolved into laughter so loud a small crowd gathered. Coco then jokingly attempted to teach Ravyn her signature footwork, even though she was wearing boots entirely unsuited for it. Ravyn tried anyway, resulting in a half-spin, half-slide that nearly sent the two tumbling. Fans now call it the Miami Shuffle. Miami fashion blogs lost their minds. Within hours, Miami-based fashion pages were dissecting Coco's entire outfit. "This is what peak young athlete fashion looks like," one wrote.